Hey there, exam candidates. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to absolutely transform you from an overwhelmed student into a literal master code breaker of the PIFRA. That's the Project to Improve Financial Reporting and Auditing Chart of Accounts. So, if you've been staring at your accounting materials feeling, well, totally lost, you are in exactly the right place today.
I mean, are you just completely exhausted from trying to memorize accounting heads that look like, well, like NC21013 minus 011205 minus A01101? I know, it looks like an absolute alien language. But if you're a student tackling public finance and civil service exams, PIPFA, DAO, or CSS, and you're just staring at these intimidating alphanumeric strings, I am here to promise you that you never have to rote memorize them again. Seriously, toss the flashcards. We're going to decode this whole thing step by step. We've got a super clear syllabus for you today to break this daunting topic into logical, bite-sized pieces. We'll hit 1. The PIFRA code mystery. 2. The 5 core elements. 3. Cracking the object element. 4. Demystifying the fund element. 5. Entity and function explained. And finally, 6. Your master decoder exam strategy. Let's jump right in.
Starting off with Section 1, the PIFRA code mystery.
So let's figure out what this mysterious string of characters actually represents out there in the real government accounting world. The new accounting model, or NAM, is really just a logical framework. Its whole job is to tell a completely transparent financial story. It's not some random jumble of letters and numbers thrown together to trick you on test day. PIFRA actually rolled out this framework to replace those awful memorization-heavy accounting codes from the past. And once you see the underlying logic, man, it all clicks together beautifully.
Which brings us to Section 2, the 5 core elements.
Basically, this massive code breaks down into 5 really digestible anatomical parts. The entire PIFRA charts of accounts is built squarely on these: entity, fund, function, object, and project. And if we translate these into everyday journalistic questions, like who is spending, from where is the money coming, why is it being spent, what exactly is being bought, and which specific project is it for, we instantly crack the foundation of the entire code. They aren't random at all. Working together, they build a complete narrative of a single financial transaction.
Moving right along to Section 3, cracking the object element. Now, for exam purposes, this object element is hands down your most critical target. So let's zoom in and dissect it first. The really crucial thing to remember here is that it instantly reveals exactly what the government is doing with the money. It defines the actual, literal nature of the transaction. If you want to know what's actually being bought, what's being paid for, or what's being collected, this is the exact segment you've got to look at. Okay, I want you to take a mental screenshot of this logical mapping, because this is absolute gold for your exams. The first letter tells you the massive overarching category. A stands for expenditure, so things like A01 for pay or A03 for operating costs. Then you have B and C, which mean revenue, and that distinguishes between tax and non-tax sources. F flags physical or financial assets, and G represents liabilities, like government debts or obligations. If you just memorize these 4 primary letter buckets, you are literally already halfway there. And this brilliantly illustrates how the object drills down from that really broad category. It goes from a major category like A for expenditure, funnels down into a minor classification like O1 for pay, and then finally drops down to a highly detailed line item like 101 for basic pay. See how that works? Major, minor, detailed. It's just a perfectly logical funnel. Okay, let's tackle Section 4, demystifying the fun element. This is usually the second major hurdle for students, figuring out that 7-character fund element, which tells us the ultimate source of the money. Let's take a classic example string, like NC21013. If we slice this string up character by character, we can read it like a whole sentence. N tells us it's a federal source. C means it's from the consolidated fund. That 2 designates revenue. The 1 signifies it's a voted fund, and the 013 at the end is the specific demand or grant number. See? Suddenly, NC21013 isn't just a bunch of gibberish anymore, is it? It's a highly specific address for a pot of money. Now, you really need to pay special attention to these strict opposites when you're checking the fund code. This is exactly where examiners absolutely love to trap you. Confusing a voted 1 with a charged 4 or a consolidated C with a public account P is a super common exam pitfall, so lock these comparisons into your brain right now. 1 is voted, 4 is charged. C is consolidated, P is public. Also, keep in mind that the very first letter of the fund code acts as an instant geographic locator. It identifies right away if the source is N for federal government, S for Sindh province, or P for Punjab province. Just one simple letter, and it instantly orients you to the proper level of government.
Almost there. Section 5, Entity and Function Explained. To complete the anatomy of our transaction, we just need to briefly decode the entity and function elements. Honestly, this separation is genius. The entity code identifies the specific drawing and dispersing officer, the DDO, which is the exact office physically spending the cash. Meanwhile, the function code explains the government's broader purpose. So, for example, 07 represents health and 09 represents education. This lets the government report exactly how much a specific office, the entity, spent on a broader purpose, the function. It perfectly distinguishes, say, hospital funding from school funding. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, your Master Decoder Exam Strategy. Now that you actually understand the anatomy of the code, let's build your definitive action plan. When you're sitting in that exam hall facing a long code under pressure, here is what you do. First, always attack the object's first letter immediately to frame the transaction is an expense, revenue, asset, or liability. Second, quickly verify the voted or charged status within the fund element. Look super closely for that 1 or 4. And finally, just take a breath and break those long strings into our 5 core questions. Who, where, why, what, and which. You follow this process, and you simply won't panic. To really solidify your new code-breaking skills, I highly recommend downloading the official PIFRA Chart of Accounts manual from the official Pakistan Audit and Accounts Academy or PPA website. But don't just read it, right? Review the official PIFRA model solutions to see exactly how these codes show up in actual exam contexts. And of course, always check the official PIFRA website for the latest syllabus updates and computer competency training, the CCPT. You now possess the master key to the new accounting model. The confusion is gone, the logic is totally clear. So, I'm going to leave you with this thought. What hidden financial story are you going to uncover on your very next practice exam? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep practicing your decoding, and you are going to absolutely master this in no time.